We're answering it, yes. The object has to appear to see the subject.
So when we die, does God die?
No. God cannot die because God never existed. God is existence itself. I'm not playing with words here.
Mm-hmm.
See, something that has no beginning or end does not exist.
Mm-hmm.
But therefore, because there is existence, it is existence itself. Mm-hmm. And existence itself is not existing as existing things, appears as existing things, but it itself is.
So is the isness good and bad?
Yes.
And everything else?
Yes. The isness is not bad. The badness is the interpretation that our mind makes. You see? But when we begin to see that bad and good are relative terms concocted by the mind, concocted by this idea, then we find that both become one. And it is that oneness which is God. So God is beyond good and bad. You see? And that ultimate thing which has no opposite. The Course in Miracles says, the opposite of love is fear, but that which is all-encompassing can have no opposite. You see? So God has no opposite. The space has no opposite. It just is. But it contains opposite, negative and positive, good and bad, is contained within that space. But it is not that space. So we can say that God is the space in which it contains good and bad, but it itself is not good and bad. Just is. You see? And that isness itself, when fully experienced, is experienced as joy, love, happiness, freedom. But you might say, but aren't these things good? Aren't love, freedom, aren't these things good? I'm asking you.
Well, they're good to our ego, but they don't really have any significance.
Very good. They just are. You see?
Do they feel good?
When you say they feel good, again, no, this is good. I love it, because when we explore like this is when everything starts to come out. Do they feel good? To whom? Because when you're free, you don't know you're free. When a child, 1-year-old child, is fully happy, joyous, full of energy, do you think the child knows, I am full of energy? No. It just is that energy. It just is that joy. You see? But that joy, there's no one to experience that joy. There's just the experience of joy. You're with me here? It is that space. So therefore God is not feeling good and joyous. God is joy. God is Satchitananda, bliss itself. But there's no one to experience that bliss. The moment you say, I'm experiencing bliss, there was one time Robert Adams was said, are there enlightened beings? And he said, if you know you're enlightened, then you're not enlightened. It's not possible, right? Because enlightenment means there's no you. He said one time there was a convention, and this convention was calling people who are enlightened to attend. So, and then what happens is those that attended were immediately disqualified. So this we go back to what Sheila said. It was beautiful. He says, when we're happy, are we really feeling happy? You see, we have to understand what that means. When you're happy, there's no you who's happy. There's just happiness being experienced. But there's no experiencer of that happiness. You're just happy. You see? Just like the child was playing ball against the wall. He was having a ball. He was really enjoying himself playing ball. And the mother said, are you having fun, dear? And he had to stop, and all fun stopped. Because I had to think about it. You see? The moment you think about it, whether you're having fun or not, the fun is gone. Because fun, happiness, peace, freedom, joy means there's no one there. Okay? This is the key. So that was so beautiful what you said, right? So there's no one feeling good. There's just goodness. Because if there's someone feeling good, it means there's an experiencer. And when you're really feeling good, there's no you saying, oh, I feel so good. You see? You're just being good. Just like making love when you reach orgasm. You see, at that moment of orgasm, which lasts a few seconds, there is no ego. Did you know that? There's no ego, there's no you, there's nothing. There's just incredible energy. You see, at that moment it's disappearing. You disappear in those few seconds. So this is why we have this incredible drive for that ultimate experience. The racer who turns a corner at over 200 miles an hour, why does he race? Because he says, oh, when I'm racing, I'm not in my head. I'm just living high. Just like the guy who, skydiving. They free fall. They don't even open the parachute until they reach very close to the ground. And when they fall, they said, you've never experienced the incredible experience until you do it. Because at that moment, there's no ego. You see? There's just this incredible rush. You know? And that incredible rush is pure experience. There's no experiencer. You see? At that moment, there's just no ego at all there. So that's what makes it so dynamic, the now. You see, when we think of now, it is this space in which contains everything. Everything. It contains your guilt, your shame, your fear, your hate, your anger, and it contains everything. You see? And you put it all in that space. And it's okay. Everything is okay. Never make yourself feeling ashamed or guilt about how you're feeling. Because that carries. And what carries means it makes your ego get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then for a moment you can't even live with yourself. You hear that? You can't live with yourself. You created 2 and 3 and 4. That's why we have multiple personalities. Because we keep complicating simplicity. See? Okay, so, Sangeeta, these are